Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to your Monday night ukulele disco. No, I'm only joking. It looks a bit like that, doesn't it? With my new setup. Ta-da! This is I'm going to call it now my ukulele cupboard, which is where I'm going to be doing all of my live sessions from. I've basically taken out our walk-in wardrobe at home and turned it into a ukulele room. So we have to get changed in the garden now, but ta-da! We've got my ukulele disco room. So just in case you wonder what's going on, I haven't gone mad. It's not a backdrop. I'm in the cupboard. Many of you I consider my good friends. I'm happy to share with you. We're coming towards the winter months now, and where I teach normally with my ukulele, it's on a farm, kind of in the middle of nowhere, which is lovely in the summer, very, very quiet. But in the middle of winter, when I finish at 8 o'clock at night and it's tipping it down with rain and it's pitch black outside, it's really scary locking up in the winter. So I've created this little room so that I can teach at home, and then when we finished I can run downstairs and go and have my tea. So if you hear any kids running around in the background or anything like that, you know what's going on. Oh, thanks Matthew, thanks guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. So yeah, and maybe we could call it Monday Night Disco from now on. Karen was saying earlier that I should get a disco ball put in here, and I do think it's the only thing that's missing. So perhaps she's right. There we go. Hope you're all doing well. Shell, it's not got the best ventilation, so if it looks like I'm not breathing by the end of this, you know what's going on. It's fine. It's fine. It opens up into the bedroom, and I can open up a window, so I'm not going to faint. Don't worry. Thank you though. And I do have the door open. You can't see it, but yeah. So I'll give you the guided tour later. I've got a nice Kamaka pineapple next to me at the moment as well. I'll show you that in a little bit. So welcome to another live ukulele jam. So tonight we're going to do, guess what the theme is? Butterflies. And this is a comma, if you're interested, one of my favourite butterflies and one of the few butterflies that overwinters in the UK here. You might have seen the report in the news. It was in the news all over last week that our butterfly species are in massive decline in the UK over here. So we've got to do everything we can to look after them. Oh, you'll be fine. Don't worry. You can still download the chord charts if you want, Boo, but I'll bring them on screen as well so you can see them. So yeah, we're going for a butterfly theme tonight. Now, they're not all totally obvious, the song choices. So even though they're butterflies, some of them are quite subtle. Like, believe it or not, we've got What's Frequency Kenneth by REM, which you think that can't be a butterfly song, but look through the lyrics, you'll find a butterfly in there somewhere. We're going to start gently with a beautiful song by the Magnetic Fields, and this was the band that we did last week. We did Nothing Matters When We're Dancing, and this is another beautiful kind of sweet romantic song that Stephen wrote on ukulele, which is really lovely, and really simple chords but really effective. Some of the later tunes tonight are a little bit more tricky, but I'll go through them in a lot of detail as we get there. So don't forget to make sure you've got live chat on so you can ask questions and get involved as we go along. And yeah, ask as many questions as you like. It's really important. Sometimes I forget to tell you stuff, and it's just nice to get involved in the community. So our first song, All My Little Words. So remember, with Kanikapila, we do things differently from a lot of ukulele jams in that we've got the chords in the boxes with the Nashville numbers over here. And hopefully that really helps you to kind of identify the chord patterns and see the structure of songs and see how they fit together. And of course, hi Karen, of course we've got the lyrics on the next page as well, so you can follow through on there. So every one of these measures, unless I tell you otherwise, like if we're playing a waltz, every one of these measures is going to be 4 beats, so you count to 4 on each one. And then we number the chords, we give every number We give every chord in a key and numbers from 1 through to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for instance, in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And remember, all of those chords has its own personality and is either major, minor or diminished. So we've got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor and B diminished in the key of C. Now, if you have a look at our first song that we've got tonight, hopefully some of you will start to recognise the chord combinations, the chord progression, because it's very similar to all those songs we did last week. Do you remember we did 2 or 3 different songs that had the chord progressions C, which is your home chord, tonic, sets you off on a journey. Then last week we had all of them had a G in next to create some tension. And then last week an A minor and then F. Remember that was like hundreds of different songs with those chord combinations. Well, it's very, very similar tonight, only this one's a little bit more classic. It's a bit more similar to a 1-6-2-5, the kind of progression that Gershwin would have come up with. We've got C first, as you'd expect, setting us out on the journey. Then we've got the A minor, and that 6th chord, the A minor chord, the 6th chord in any key, is about adding a touch of melancholy. And you'll really feel that, the brightness of that major chord C, the melancholy of A minor. Only one note different, but that note makes all the difference, right? Then we go to the tension of G, which makes you want to go back to a C. G always wants to resolve to C. But we do it in a roundabout way here, a bit of delayed gratification with G to F and back to C. Okay. Now this one we're going to do a really simple calypso strum. So that's your walk, running and running, walk, running and running. Remember, I'm more into kind of phonetics than worrying about ups and downs, because ups and downs turns us into robots, right? But if you wanted to tap out that rhythm, walk, running and running, walk, running and running. And if you're into your downs and ups, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now remember, a lot of people struggle with that pattern because of the 2 ups. Remember my little trick. When you do your up strum, try doing a little windmill after it. I'll show you what I mean. Do you see how it kind of fills in the gap? So if you're really struggling with this calypso strum, that could really help. Put a little windmill after the first up. And if we apply that to each measure, the intro and all the verses and the instrumental, I'll give you some scales to solo over in a minute. But they will all sound like this. A minor, G, and F, and back to C. I'll do that again. Notice we got 2 measures of C, C, another measure, 2 measures of A minor, 1 of G, 1 of F and 2 of C. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, there's lots of comments about Sheila's new ukulele. Sheila, I know you've told me before. I think it was in the Facebook group, wasn't it? But let us know what ukulele you've got. I can't quite remember what it was. I love new ukes. They're just the best, aren't they? Don't worry, Karen, you will soon pick these up. You'll soon pick them up. They're really simple and really quite pretty, a couple of these songs. So hopefully you'll enjoy them, especially Dos Oruguitas from Canto. Such a beautiful song, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I'm getting distracted by the comments about Sheila's new uke. Okay. So that's the verses. Now you might have noticed I was doing a slight roll on the second beat of that strum, and I love to do that. So on the second down, what I do is I just drag all of my fingers over the strings like so, and I splay them out slightly as I go. Okay, it's not a big kind of flamenco, kind of roll strum, just a light roll of the fingers, and then that gives you this Just see how it thickens up that strum, which is really nice. So just something else to experiment with if you'd like to on this one. Now the chorus on this one's really, really simple. It starts with a 5 chord to create a sense of tension. So 5 being your standard G major, like so. Back to 4. And the relief of going back to the resolution of the 1 chord. And we just do that twice. G, F, C. And again. G, really, really simple. So dead easy. Now we're also going to do one of these verses instrumentally. Now we're going to use the C major or the A minor pentatonic. They're both the same notes, starting from different places. This is in your scale reference sheets. You only need to print these out once, so you can use them for every single Kanikapila. And notice we've got that lovely A minor trick with the A minor pentatonic, where we can just play all of the dots on our A string. How cool is that? So any of the dots on your A string in the open A. You can also play most of the dots on the E string in an open E. Just make sure that you don't play the 7th fret go up to the 8th fret for a C. And you can also do your C major pentatonic down here, off 2, off 3, off 3. That's C D, E G, A C. Isn't that lovely? Really simple, nice and easy to do. So if you want to, you can do a little bit of a solo. I think somewhere here I've got a backing track. Let me see if I can play it. And I'll just give you an idea. Just really, really kind of sweet, simple. Just playing the dots there. So all these kind of people get really intimidated by soloing, but it's really dead easy. Just play the dots and you'll be absolutely fine. And the more you get practice with doing these pentatonic scales, the more you'll be able to do them, and you'll be able to just really, really enjoy them. Okay, right, so I reckon we could just give this a go. Should we give it a try? Let me just move this over slightly, get it right size, and we'll try having a go at all my little words. Okay. Now, in terms of structure, this one's dead simple. We've got verse, verse, chorus, then verse, verse, chorus, and that's it, basically. The reason there's 2 verses in the second bit is one of them instrumental, and you can do a little solo, or you can play the chords with me, and the next one's a normal verse. So just think of it as verse, verse, chorus, instrumental, verse, verse, chorus. Simple as that. All right, so when we go back to this sheet, notice that we play all of these chords twice for a verse and all of these chords twice for a chorus. Okay, you'll soon get the hang of it. We'll also play these chords up here once through as a little introduction, just to get us going. Should we give it a try? I'll leave the chords on the screen, and if it looks like I'm glancing off into the distance, it's just because down here I've got my lyric sheet. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You are a splendid butterfly. It is your wings that make you beautiful, and I could make you fly away, but I could never make you stay. Another verse. I said you were in love with me. Both of us know that that's impossible, and I could make you rue the day, but I could never make you stay. Chorus. Not for all the tea in China, not if I could sing like a bird, not for all North Carolina, not for all my little words, not if I could write for you. not for all my little words. Let's do an instrumental verse. So say, try those pentatonic notes. A minor and G. And C. One more of those instrumentally. C. A minor. Feel that melancholy of that A minor. G. And F. Now a verse with the words. Now that you've made me want to die, you tell me that you're unboyfriendable, and I can make you pay and pay, but I can never make you stay. Chorus. Not for all the tea in China, not if I could sing like a bird, not for all North Carolina, not for all my little words, not if I could write for you the sweetest song you ever heard. It doesn't matter what I'll do, not for all my little words. It doesn't matter what I'll do. Slow. Not for all my little words. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, everyone. Let me know how you got on with that. Just such a pretty little song, that, isn't it? I was playing the vinyl, the records of the album this is from. This is from an album called 69 Love Songs. There's 69 songs on a 3 CD set, or 6 10-inch vinyl, I think it is, that I was listening to. And the liner notes are written by Daniel Handler, who some of you might know as Lemony Snicket. Has anyone read A Series of Unfortunate Events? Brilliant kids' books, but actually just brilliant books. I read them with my kids, but I also read them myself. I used to have a children's bookshop back in the day, believe it or not, in Exeter, and I loved these books. I fell in love with them. And Daniel Handler is really good friends with Stephen Merritt. So when 69 Love Songs was released, there's some really great liner notes where Daniel Handler interviews Stephen Merritt. And there's this lovely bit where Stephen was a bit nervous about using the term unboyfriendable. But I think it's great. Isn't that a great term, unboyfriendable? And apparently it was a genuine thing that one of Stephen's friends said to him, that he was unboyfriendable. I don't know whether he meant his friend was unboyfriendable or if he was, but it's a good term, isn't it? Oh, yeah, the film. It's interesting. There was a film of it with Jim Carrey, wasn't there? Which is probably what you've seen, Indrani. But there's also a really great series. They did a whole series with, what's the guy's name? Patrick something or other. He plays Count Olaf, and he's really, really good at it. So definitely worth checking out. So yeah, and if you haven't read the books, do read them. Yeah, Karen, I knew you would. Well done. Great stuff. I love it. I kind of judge my friends by the books they read. If they've read great books, they're a good friend. So you pass the test, Karen. Fantastic. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. And did you spot the butterflies there? You are, well, it's in the very first lyric, wasn't there? You are a splendid butterfly. It is your wings that make you beautiful. So, yeah. Neil Patrick Harris, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. He's great in it. He's absolutely fantastic. He's got all the facial expressions and everything. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Jenny. And this is what I love when we bring these little esoteric songs to the table and people enjoy them. It makes it all worthwhile. So, yeah, hopefully you really enjoyed that. Fantastic. I'm going to dedicate that one to Tim because I know Tim's a big Magnetic Fields fan. So that one's for you, Tim. Okay, let's do kind of almost like the other end of the spectrum. We're going to stay with indie, but we're going to go to a bit more loud, upbeat indie. So this is What's the Frequency, Kenneth, which is from R.E.M's Monster album, which I think was a great album. A lot of people really dissed it after some of their kind of more kind of I guess more laid back kind of albums. But I think it's great. I think some brilliant songs on it. So this one, there's a heck of a lot going on. So we're going to break it down into little sections like the intro and then the verse, whatnot. This one, we're still in the key of C, but notice that the verses actually start on the 5 chord, which really kind of ratchets up the tension at the start of the verse. And then it gets interestingly, it gets a little bit of resolution straight away at the end of that measure. A lot going on here. Let's have a look at the intro. This is really dead simple, but really effective. So in terms of the strum pattern on this one, we're just going to do straight 8s. Remember, straight 8s, down, 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 down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then if you get a bit excited, you want to put some more strums in, just touch on the way up. And you can really thicken those out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, like so. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Karen. I used to be one of them as well. Okay, so this one we're going to do 3 beats on C and then 1 beat on G, and then we go to an F, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'll slow that down. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C and 2 and 3 and G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Really effective, isn't it? No worries, Tim. Woohoo! No worries. This is a great one, isn't it? Fantastic. There's a brilliant, if anyone's interested, there's a brilliant, fascinating fact about this one. Yet again, Karen came up trumps. I didn't know the answer. I didn't know what this song was about. And it was about a guy who was attacked by a bit of a crazy guy who ended up, actually, he is really dark. He committed a murder. But he kind of... he stalked and chased a news reporter, I think it was, and he kept shouting at him, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" Because he had these voices speaking to him in his head. It's kind of a bit of a dark story. And Aria met the guy, and not the guy, the murderer, he got put away in prison, but met the reporter and wrote this song about it. It's quite fascinating, so have a check of that in the back. Thanks, Karen, for all the help with the fascinating facts, and thanks to Esther as well for all her brilliant sheets. She's done herself proud. I mean, look at that picture. I love it. It's amazing. You can identify each member perfectly, especially Michael in the middle there, right? Okay, so let's go back into it. That's your intro. Now the verses, these chord changes come thick and fast. Let me come in into close cam so you can follow the changes. So we start on G, straight to C, A minor, and F. Kind of interesting that we get that tension of the 5 chord straight away. Relaxes for a minute, and then the minor. Remember that 4 chord, we call it the change chord, creates a sense of change. Although it almost feels like every chord's a change chord in this, there's so many of them. G, C, and then G to the F. Now it might seem a bit overwhelming, but if you notice, we've got a pattern. G, C, A minor, F, G, C. Now it's only this final measure where it changes. G, F, because the next verse starts exactly the same. G, C, A minor, F, G, C. Now I love this A minor here. Adds a real kind of sense of melancholy. It's a real lovely change there. And then the D chord, because we want that tension at the end. All right. Okay, so let's put a verse together so you can see how it works. Let me just get my lyrics up. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's frequency? Can it fissure? Bends a dream. Then the second line of the verse. I was brain dead, locked out numb. Pre-chorus is a lot easier. We've just got the 4 chord for change and the 5 chord for tension. Remember, whenever we go to the start of a new section, the most common chords to come up are either the 4 chords, because that creates a sense of change, C, D, E, F, that's F in this case, or the relative minor, which creates a kind of a whole different feel, and that happens in the instrumental. The relative minor is the 6 chord, C, D, E, F, G, A minor. So here in the pre-chorus we go to an F chord for a whole measure. So 2, 3, 4. I thought I pegged you, G, it's nearly the extreme. Tunnel vision from the outsider's screen. Alright, not too bad that bit, is it? Relatively straightforward that. And then again, a whole heck of chords really quickly. Just remember you're going to strum each one for 2 beats and just follow them along. I wouldn't worry too much about Nashville numbers because it kind of turns itself inside out a bit here. We have C, G, C, F, and then we have the tensioning of the G, F, and G. Second with the next, same with the next line, C, G, C, F, G, F. Where it says C no chord, we hit it and count to 4. NC, it's a bit of a misleading thing. Whenever you see NC in a piece of music, it means no chord. But I always say it's a bit of a lie because it always means 1 chord. 2, 3, 4. You hit the chord and just hold it for the whole measure almost every time in that instance. So that's what we've got going on there. Now again, the chords, they're relatively straightforward. Now a little tip, when you're changing between the C and G, what I like to do is keep my finger on this 2nd fret here. Because then, can you see that? I can really comfortably, just trying to get that in focus, change like so. Obviously when you go to F, let go. And it happens again the next line. Look, notice even the first C I'll do 2. Really smooth it out. Let's try one of those choruses. I'll stay on close camera so you can copy my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I never understood the frequency. You are expectations like an armored suit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're into another verse. So on and so forth, which is really nice, right? Now we've only got one new section, and that's the instrumental, which is really lovely. It goes to the relative minor here, so it kind of goes to a more of a melancholic section, I guess you could think of it. Remember that every major key has a relative minor, which has all the same chords and all the same notes, just starting from a different place. So if you think of all the chords that make up C major, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, the key of A minor has all the same chords, just starting from A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F, G. So see, it's all the same chords, just starting from a different place. But because we start that instrumental on A minor, we get that real sense of melancholy. You might like to use your first finger for this A minor. Naturally, I would use my second, but notice I can drop it down for the G. And it's just to play off between the 6th chord and the 5th chord. To the end, where we stay on G, F and G and C. And then we just wait there for another kind of 4 beats there. So yeah. Yeah, it should be a D minor. Did I say D? Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean, because it's a D. Yeah, that's a really good point. Well spotted, Karen. So generally in the key of C, the D would be a D minor, but here we're playing it as a D major. REM songs are really ambiguous in terms of the key, so sometimes you do get those chords that don't quite fit entirely. You could argue that the verses are in the key of G, which would make sense in a lot of ways because you'd have that sort of 1 4 2 what's it 1 4, I'm just trying to think, yeah, 1 4 6 2 sort of combination, which kind of would make sense, and then D would be considered the 5 chord, which would make sense again. But then the chorus really feels like it's in the key of C. It starts with C and it resolves to C at the end. So generally overall, and also we've got the relative minor of C, which again, this bit really makes you think in a key of C. But REM songs are really like that. They're often really ambiguous. I think you could consider that as in the key of G major, and that's why we've got the D and the rest of it C. But it gets a bit stressful trying to change keys in songs in terms of what are the numbers. So I just stick with C. But a really good spot there, Karen. So yeah, in the key of C, it should be D minor. So absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I know, Tim, me too. When I was looking up songs for Butterflies, I thought of this one instantly because I remembered the lyric. But then I thought, it's not going to work on uke. But it does. It really does. And it sounds cool. So yeah, bit of REM on UK. So that's basically it. The final chorus we go through 6 times. It just goes round and round and round and round. Now, if you want to on the instrumental, you could play a little solo if you wanted to, and you can use the exact same notes that you played in the last song, though, that A minor, C major pentatonic scale. All right, I call it A minor pentatonic and C major because they're interchangeable because they're relatives. Okay, so just a really quick reminder. I won't go through it in too much detail because we've already done it. But all of the open A and all your dots, so that's A, C, D, E, G, A, and you can even go right up to that C up there. Same on the E string. Just remember we don't play the 7th fret. And then you can also do C, D, E, G, A, C. That's off 2, off 3, off 3 down here. Just have a bit of fun with this. I think I did a backing track on this one. Let me just check. I think I did. Here we go. Yeah, I did. Okay. So... see how all those notes are working? Okay, so have a load of fun. You can have a little bit of a solo on that one if you want to when we get to that section on the A minors. If you don't want a solo, just keep strumming with me. Okay, so let's bring the sheets up again. There it is. Oh, went one too far. That Esther, I love. Honestly, I love that picture. I don't think Esther's here tonight, but she might watch the playback. And if you do, Esther, it's a great picture that is. Okay, right. Let's give it a go. Let me just get my lyrics up on my iPad. There we go. I'm trying to be good with my new setup and not print everything off. So I've got them on my iPad. So hopefully I can just about read that. Okay. Let's give it a try from the top then. So we've got the intro and then we basically go verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we do that again. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we've got the instrumental. And then guess what? Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So it's basically just do this, this and this, this, this and this. Then we break for the instrumental and then this, this and this. All right. Okay. Yeah, we've done some Clash ones in the past, I think, Joe, and they you're right, they sound great. Don't let anyone tell you you shouldn't play a certain tune on the ukulele. Just enjoy it, and if it sounds great, it's brilliant, right? Okay. Oh, thanks, Harry. Thanks, Harry. Thank you. Thank you. I've still got blue specks all over me from painting this room. Okay, here we go. So remember, we've got that nice intro. I think I'll stay on this camera. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. G, F. pre-chorus. I thought I pegged you an idiot's dream. Tunnel vision from the outside a screen. Chorus. I never understood the frequency. Again. You are expectations like an armored suit. Sorry, my bad. F and G and C. 2, 3, 4. You studied your cartoons, radio, music, TV, movie, magazines. Yeah. Richard said withdraw and disgust is not the same as apathy. That's hard to sing. A smile like a cartoon, too far a tooth. You said that irony was the shackles of youth. Chorus. You wore a shirt of violet green. I never understood the frequency. Get ready for the instrumental. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try those pentatonics. Or strum with me A minor and G. One more. Bring those solos to a close. Let me go again. 2, 3, 4. What's frequency? Can it visual? Bends a dream. Here's the butterflies. Butterfly decal, review mirror, dark in the scene. Pre-chorus. You smile like the cartoon, too far a tooth. You said that irony was the shackles of youth. Last chorus. You wore a shirt of violet green. I never understand. You are expectations like an armored suit. I couldn't understand. You said that irony was the shackles of youth. I couldn't understand. You are violet green. I couldn't understand. You are a shirt of violet green. Final one. Yeah, there we go. Who said you can't play REM on ukulele? It's great, huh? It's really quite tricky to keep on top of that one, so don't worry if you went wrong there. Hey Harry, check it out. I've even got one of those cool those cool lights. It took me ages to get the camera to work because with it's neon and it flickers at a certain rate. And I realised that if your webcam's on a certain setting, it flickers with it and everything goes hummy and weird. So I had to play with the settings of my webcam to get it to sit straight. But there we go. I haven't put the disco ball up yet though. So we'll just take a quick break before we do our next couple of songs. So just to let you know that this is the week where we have our live lesson. So every 2 weeks, once a fortnight, we have a live lesson. And this one we're going to look at a beautiful piece of music by Ernest Kai. I put one too many A's in that poster. I have done a new one. For some reason I've got the old one here. We're going to do a beautiful Hawaiian fingerstyle chord melody. It's a lovely, lovely piece. Beautiful waltz, Aine, by Ernest Guy, and I'll teach it you just like we did with Hanalei Moon. I'll break it down, we'll just look at the chords, just the melody, and then I'll teach you how to put it all together. And that's this Wednesday, September 25th at 3:30. If you're a member of my website, mattsteadukulele.com, if you're not, why not? No, I'm just kidding. But all my members, you get your sheets at no extra cost, so you can join in, or you can go to my PayHip and you can get me there, so get them there as well. So come and join in with that one if you can. All of the live lessons are archived as well, so there's tons of them. So if you ever miss one, or you're just interested to see what's on there, go to the live link on my website, click live, and then go to Fortnightly Lessons Archive, and there's loads that you can take part in, all the sheets available there as well. Over 100 arrangements on there now that you can go and learn, plus all my courses and everything. So yeah. And then lastly, just because I always forget to do this and I get told off, if anyone's feeling generous and you want to send me a tip tonight, I'm at paypal.me/the-uke-room. So yeah, cool. Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, I really enjoyed that lesson. I really love teaching chord melody. I think it's really magical when you can kind of combine those two things together. And it kind of sounds like two things happening at the same time, doesn't it? Which sounds really impressive. So really, really good fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing another one of those. So yeah. Don't worry, but you get used to it. That was a particularly hard one, right? But if you can get used to the Kanikapila way of doing things, it will help you to understand how songs work. But yeah, don't worry. It's all good. All good. Oh yeah, and don't forget the cruise that we've got coming up next March the 1st. There is, if there's anyone that wants to go on their own, and they're about a bit kind of shy, or the cost might be a little bit too high, we do have somebody looking for a cabin mate. So if you're interested in the cruise, I haven't got the poster today because I'm on my new computer and I haven't put it on here yet. But if you're interested, we're going on a cruise around the Caribbean islands, starting on the 1st of March, sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, going to Aruba, Bonaire and Curacao. We're going to visit a butterfly farm, Harry is telling me. It's an option for one of the excursions, which I'm really, really excited about. Yeah, come and join in. We're going to have ukulele teaching every one of the sea days. We're going to do live Kanikapila. We're going to do live lessons. So all sorts of fun stuff. So come along if you can. It's going to be amazing. And then very finally, just to let you know, there's a new jazz lesson up there on the website that I created last week, which is all about soloing with chord tones and modes, which is really, really cool if you've only ever done pentatonic solos like we often do at Kanikapila. This teaches you a whole different way to solo using chord tones and also modes, which is going to be great. And next week, this week, by the end of this week, I'm going to have my final lesson in the Jazz and Blues course for now. Why am I saying for now? I'm going to keep adding to these courses. So if you've ever done any one of these courses, keep checking them out. And I'll always say when there's a new lesson on there, I'm going to keep adding to them even when they've officially finished. But for now, this is going to be the last one in the Jazz and Blues course. We're going to look at probably my favourite jazz piece of all time, Stella by Starlight. A beautiful piece where the chords don't repeat the entire piece. It's just magical, really well worth learning and enjoying. After that, I'm going to have a couple of weeks off in terms of new lessons, but then we're going to start a Beatles course, which I'm really excited about. So we can do a whole course all based around Beatles hits. So if you're a Fab Four fan, come and join us with that. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Just going to have a quick slurp for a second. My voice is going. My goodness, that's cold coffee. Oh, I made that a long time ago. Okay, so this is a beautiful song from the film Canto. Some of you might have seen the film. It's really well worth seeing. And this is gorgeous. It's meant to kind of represent the great grandparents in Encanto as caterpillars and then butterflies. So in Colombian, Oruguitas. Or Oruguita is a caterpillar, and a mariposa is a butterfly. So you'll hear those words come up in this song. So every time it's oruguita, think caterpillar, and every time it's mariposa, think butterfly, and it's all about the kind of the changing from one thing to another, and all about freedom. It's a really beautiful, beautiful song. It was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this one was put up for an Oscar, and it didn't win, unfortunately, and I think it should have done, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And the original was sung by Sebastian Yatra in Colombian, or Spanish. Is it Colombian, or do they speak Spanish in Colombia? Someone let me know. I'm being really uneducated there. But yeah, it was in the original language. But what we've got the translation. It translates beautifully into English, which is what we've got here. Now, for anyone that found that last one a bit difficult to follow in terms of the chords, this one's a lot more simple and a lot slower in terms of the chords, but they're really, really beautiful. Oh, thanks, Indrani. I thought you'd know. Brilliant. Fantastic. Indrani, you speak different languages, don't you, Indrani? If I got that right? Well, you speak English and German. If that's one more than me anyway, even if you don't. But yeah, there we go. Latin American Spanish. Oh, nice. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look at the chords to this one first, and then I'll show you how to strum it and everything. Really beautiful, beautiful chords in this. We start with C, just your bog standard C major. Dos oruguitas. Then we go to the 3 chord. Now, in any key, whenever you hear the 3 chord, I often refer to it as the heartbreak chord. It kind of feels either like something sad's happening, or it has a sense of foreboding. It should pull at your heartstrings. It's the reason why Brother Izzy's Somewhere Over the Rainbow sounds lovely. That 3 chord played as a minor really tugs at the heartstrings. So C, E minor next. Just think about it as going up the stairs, okay? 1, 2, 3, up the stairs. Then we go to the 1 chord but played as a C7. Whenever a C is played as a C7, it's generally because it feels like it wants to go to an F, because a C7 is 5 above F. Well, what happens next? We have an F chord. There we go. So Linda's telling me oruguitas has no W sound in the middle, like guitar. Oruguitas. Oh, okay. Now to sing it. Dos oruguitas. Like that. Is that right, Linda? I think so. I'll try and sing it like that anyway. I've learned it the other way, so it might be hard now, but I shall try my best. Okay, so there's our F major. Then we're going to flip it to a minor. Now, this is a really common thing to happen in music, to take the major and turn it into a minor. It's often referred to as a minor fall, because we're going from that major, thanks Linda, to the minor. And that creates even more melancholy. This is a very melancholic song. And then back to the C here. Oruguitas. I've got it. Brilliant. So let's give that first bit a go. Now this one, we're just going to do... Let's try doing a really nice strum pattern for this one, because I had an idea for this one. Now this is quite a complex strum pattern, so I'm going to teach you phonetically. We're going to try a walk, running, okay? Walk, running, and walk, and running, running, running. Walk, running, and walk, and running, running, running. Ba, 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 ba. Cha, 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 cha. Ba, 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 ba. Cha, 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 cha. Okay? Now, you don't have to be exact on that, and if you prefer, just down strum straight 8s will be fine. You could even get away with a couple of calypso strums, okay? But I'm going to do... those measures, making them really nice and long. So that first bit, I'll come in on close camera, we'll look and sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dos oruguitas in love and yearning. evening and morning learning to hold each other, the hunger burning. Did you notice that from that F to F minor, just flip those fingers, okay? That's the main thing, and then get your little finger in. And then when it goes to the C chord, just take those away and leave them there. Then we have a 3, 6, 4, 5, a really common chord progression, often thought of as kind of almost like going backwards around the circle of fifths at first. So we have E7, for half a measure A minor, half a measure of F, and half a measure of C. And then it almost starts the same again, E7, A minor, but we have the 5 chord G creating a tension that is then resolved to the 1 chord, which is really, really beautiful. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, E7, A minor, and G, and C. Yeah, beautiful. I haven't prepared a picking pattern in Drani, but something like that would be really nice. No worries, Boo. Let me just... I'll do that first, actually, because that would be the easiest way to do it. So E7. So first finger up here, first fret of the G string. Second finger down here, second fret of C string. And then ring finger down the bottom. Okay. Looks a bit like a G, half a G shape right there. And then just pop this one up here. And then to A minor, just lift that one up, down to G, and then your C. Okay. Now in terms of picking pattern in Drani, what you could do is just do kind of top to bottom and back again. Now that gives you 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you want to add the and in, you could pick that C string again. Or what you could do is when you get down to the A string, thumb, index, middle, ring, rest there before coming back again. That's really pretty as well. I'll give you an example. To our guitars, in love and yearning, spend every evening. Isn't that lovely? A morning learning. That's really nice. I would, do you know what? If you can get used to it, I would actually recommend a picking pattern on that. In Drani, that's a great idea. I think that sounds beautiful with that picking pattern. I'm probably just going to strum it for the video tonight, just because I haven't prepared that, and it will save me going wrong with all the chord changes and everything. But if anyone fancies it, I think it's well worth having a go. Now we haven't got any solos in this one, but we do have in the last song, so don't panic. In fact, we've got 2 solos in the next song, but here we're just going to go verse, verse, and then chorus, which I'll talk you through in a second. Is dead easy. Verse, chorus. Notice that the choruses, they're kind of twice the length of the verse, if you see what I mean. And then we've got an outro as well. Now the outro, you're just going to do, I think it's it's just another chorus chords again. Okay. So once we've done the verse, we do the chorus. Now this is really straightforward. In fact, it looks like that chord. In fact, it is. It's that chord combination we were doing last week. Remember, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. It's one of the most common chord combinations in all of modern music. Well, we've got the same thing here, but this time it's drawn out, right? Thanks, Karen. G. Half A minor, half F. And then we flip it to that lovely F minor. A real tricky flip that, right? But my goodness, isn't that beautiful? It ratchets up the emotions. So that's this bit. I are guitars. Don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know it's your time to grow, to fall apart, to reunite. Isn't that lovely? And you just keep going around that chord combination for the whole of the chorus again and again. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this song so much. In fact, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda, he does get the plaudits. I mean, he wrote Hamilton, didn't he, amongst other things. And he did the music to Moana, which is really wonderful as well. I actually think he's one of the few living geniuses alive today when it comes to musical theatre. I think his songwriting is just absolutely inspired. So let's give it a go. We got this. Let's give it a go. All right. So remember, we're going verse 1, verse 2, chorus, and then we have a shorter verse 3, and then we have chorus again. All right. All until the outro again. Don't worry, Karen. I'll show you again. That's absolutely fine. Let me see if I can bring close camera on actually for that picking pattern. If you want to have a go, let me come in here. So I'm doing thumb, index, middle, ring. Pausing there and doing the same in reverse. Now, if you're thinking string names, G, C, E, A, E, C. Or if you're thinking numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to do that twice per measure because the measures are quite long. For some reason, I've brought up the wrong one. There we go. Like that. Reminds me of the start of Something, the start of this one by George Harrison. Really lovely. Let's give it a go then, guys. I'm going to strum it, as I say, just to keep everyone in time and everything and make it straightforward. And yeah, just follow it along. Have loads of fun. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Here we go. Let's, can we just do one verse as an intro? Actually, no, let's do just 2 C's rolling like it says on the sheet. So we're just going to do a C. Just keep that rolling and then follow along when I start singing. Here we go. To our guitars, in love and yearning, spend every evening and morning learning to hold each other, their hunger burning, to navigate a world that turns and never stops turning, together in this world that turns and never stops turning, to our guitars against the weather. The wind grows colder, but they're together. They hold each other. No way of knowing. They're all they have for shelter, and something inside them is growing. They long to stay together, but something inside them is growing. Here's that chorus. I are guitars. Don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know it's your time to grow, stops changing. So let the walls come down. The world will never stop changing. Never stop changing. Never stop changing. Here we go. I'm mariposas. Don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know short time to go to fly apart and reunite. Wonders surround you. Just let the walls come down. Don't look behind you. Fly till you'll find your way till tomorrow. I'm mariposas. Don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know short time to go to fly apart and reunite. Wonders surround you. Just let the walls come down. Don't look behind you. Fly till you'll find your way toward tomorrow. One more. I'm mariposas. Don't you hold on too tight. Both of you know short time to go to fly apart and reunite. Wonders surround you. Just let the walls come down. Don't look behind you. Fly till you'll find your way toward tomorrow. Well done, everyone. I love that song. I absolutely love it. I just think it's really beautiful. I'm a little bit biased because, you know me, I'm absolutely obsessed with butterflies. If anyone's into their kind of nature and butterflies and things like that and they enjoy it, on Facebook I have two profiles. One's called Matt Stead, just like my handle and everything, and that's where you find all my ukulele stuff. So all of my lessons, courses, videos, all that stuff is on there. But if you fancy it, if you look up Matthew Stead, which is me as a person when I haven't got my ukulele hat on, that's where you'll find lots of pictures of butterflies and moons and children and all my family stuff as well. So is on there. So you're more than welcome to come and join me and have a look and yeah, share your own. It's a really nice thing to do, isn't it? So my favourite butterfly, I haven't got a picture. When we did our retreat in the summer, I actually did a presentation on butterflies and I thought everyone was going to walk out the room with boredom because they were there to learn ukulele. But it was great. Everyone really soaked it up. And when we went for our walk, we went butterfly spotting in the forest. And it was a really special time to have so many of you guys there in person. It was really magical. And we saw some, what did we see? Some purple hair streak flying up near the tops of the oaks. And we also saw a white admiral, which was really quite rare in the Forest of Dean. So that was really magical. In fact, I think all the time I've lived in the forest, that was the first white admiral I'd ever seen here. I normally go kind of Stroud Way or over to Wiltshire to see white admirals. Oh, thanks, Jenny. It's a bit out of my comfort zone, so that's really lovely for you to say. You've helped my confidence, so thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a beautiful song, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, and a totally earworm. Absolutely right. Oh yeah, so I didn't actually say what my favourite butterfly was. My favourite is a tiny little unassuming butterfly called the small copper. I also love the common blue, which is really common, but it's absolutely beautiful. And of course, the purple emperor. The purple emperor was what really got me into butterfly spotting. In the Victorian era, people used to go out, they used to collect them, which is a bit mean, but they didn't know any better. They used to actually collect them in nets and pin them and put them on corkboards and stuff. But there's this beautiful book written by a guy called B.B. Forgotten his real name. What was his name? Oh gosh, it's really... Oh my goodness, the author's gone. But he goes by the pseudonym BB anyway. And there's a beautiful book, probably my favourite children's book of all time, called Brendan Chase. and it's about three brothers who run away and they basically go and live in the woods for a whole year. It's amazing, and it's kind of, they're self-sufficient, and there's a vicar who is part of the search party, and he's meant to be looking for these lads, but he goes off in search of the very rare but beautiful purple emperor. And it was reading that book and really kind of put that magic of kind of this butterfly chasing in my mind. And I went to see the purple emperors at a place in Surrey called Knepp. And I did manage to find some down there, which was brilliant. And then, lo and behold, recently I realised that we actually have purple emperors in Gloucestershire, and I found a place where you can go and see them every year. And this is properly nerdy, but I was quite proud. I was the first person in Gloucestershire to spot a purple emperor this year, so they call that turn in the county purple. That's what I did. So there we go. Oh, cool. So TV series. What was that about about butterflies in Johnny? Or I don't know what we were talking about when that came up now. But anyway, don't. Okay. So one last song for tonight. We've really rifled through them and gone super quickly. So we'll take our time on this one and really enjoy it. So every 2 weeks, 1 week, not every 2 weeks, every week. Karen on Facebook does a poll of kind of gems from the vaults, if you like. So songs that we've done on Kanikapila many months or sometimes even years ago. We've been going for quite a while now, and we've got there's hundreds of weeks of Kanikapilas. Again, if you go to mattsteadukulele.com, you can, if you go to live and then click on Kanikapila, and there's a Kanikapila archive, and they're all completely free. You can go on there and you can watch any week from the past, and we've done hundreds. And Karen's really brilliantly provided a master list with all the different songs every week on Facebook. You'll find that in the file section of our Facebook group. So you can go and take part. And every week we do a favourite song that we've done in the past, basically, and you guys get to vote for it on Facebook. And this week you vote for Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones, which is a great song. No butterflies, but there are horses. I'll let you into a secret. I'm actually scared of horses. It's called hippophobic. Genuinely, they scare me to death, horses. So I like hiking, and whenever we go through a field that has horses or cows in, I'm like as close to the hedge as possible so I can beat a hasty retreat if they come anywhere near me. I don't know why it is, but yeah, I've always been the same. Oh, Three Boys Living in the Forest. Oh, cool. I wonder if it's inspired by the book. Oh, and Johnny, you got a message from me about that. I'm really intrigued. That's really intriguing. I've always wanted to do it, just go and live in the forest. I guess the closest I get is my long charity walks. I'm going to do another of those next year, by the way, if anyone's interested. I'm going to go on another 100-mile walk. Perhaps some of you could join me. That'd be fun. Oh, I love that. I saw the monarchs in Hawaii when I was over there, and it was they're just such big, beautiful butterflies. Absolutely amazing. So on to Wild Horses. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't joined, it's well worth checking out our Facebook group. Uke Students Hangout is called on Facebook. Just check it out. And we do challenges every month where you can take part, and you can win a set of badges. Karen and Esther, I keep meaning to send you a set for all your help sheets, and I keep forgetting. So, Karen, I haven't forgotten. I know you mentioned it. I'll send some badges on. So every month you can win a set of badges, and it's really supportive and warm environment. So well worth checking out. And you'll also find the polls and all the news and everything. So that's Uke Students Hangout on Facebook. Okay. One last song then. This one's in the key of G, so we've got to think slightly differently about this. No counting up from C, we've got to count up from G. So the chords in the key of G, 1 is G, 2 A minor, 3 B minor, 4 C, 5 D, 6 E minor, and 7 F sharp diminished. Don't panic, that F sharp half diminished doesn't come up. We actually play the 7th chord as a flatted F. A really common thing to do in rock and roll and rhythm and blues, which makes sense for the Rolling Stones, and also indie music, it comes up a lot as well. So that's what we've got here. And remember, in any key, the pattern is still the same. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then diminished. So the minor chords in G are A, the 2 chord, B, the 3 chord, and E, the 6 chord. And you'll see them. There's a lot of minors in this chord, in this song, which gives it a melancholy feel, and that's what we have. Now I'm going to do roughly the same pattern as I did in the last song. Just eke out the measures on this, because this is a really slow tempo song. And we start with the 1 chord going to the 2 chords. So we're literally just going what we call diatonically, just means between 2 chords that are next to each other. So just G major, just your bog standard 1, 2, 3. I think this second camera's gone a bit dark. I'll try and get another light on this for you next week, guys, so you can see the second camera better. But yeah, so we've got G, A minor, again. Then we go back to a G. Really, really simple but beautiful intro. Now the verses are really gorgeous. We have the heartbreak chord, and remember, if you can start to learn these chord personalities, you can listen out for them in songs. It's really magical when you listen to songs on the radio and you can work out what chords are coming up. It allows you to enjoy music in a whole different level, I think, and that's something I'm really passionate about. Sometimes it drives my wife mad, but she kind of likes it as well. We'll often be sat in the car in the car, and I'll say, "Oh, that 3 chord, that's really beautiful." So you kind of start to spot them. The 3 chord, remember, you can always spot because it has that heartbreaking sad quality, and you really hear it here. We have a B minor tugging at the heartstrings, resolving to the G, which is really gorgeous. Now that B minor is a bar chord, so you're going to bar the whole of the 2nd fret with your 1st finger here. Just going to try and move this camera back a bit, see if that helps with focusing. Yeah, a little bit better. So bar the whole of that 2nd fret, and then your ring finger is going to come up here on the 4th fret, 4th fret of the G string, like so. Now remember, whenever you're doing this, try and get a nice circle. Can you see? So there's daylight between my thumb and the ukulele. If I'm to do this and the thumb comes over the top, it makes the whole of the rest of my hand collapse. And it's going to sound really nasty. Whereas notice when the thumb goes on the back, I get a straight wrist. That's really important in music. I used to do a lot of this. If you look at my early videos on YouTube, it drives me mad. You'll see a lot of the time when I'm doing bar chords, I'm doing this kind of bent wrist thing. It's just where I learned to play, because originally I didn't have a teacher. And this is the way I teach. I basically, all the rubbish that I learned to do and caused me problems, I teach you not to do. And it's hopefully really effective. And this is one of the rubbish things that I learned early on, and I wish I hadn't. Straight wrist is so important when you're playing music, because it stops you getting in carpal tunnel, it stops you getting wrist aches, and it's just really good form as well in terms of the fingering and everything. So straight wrist, straight across the fret there. Try and get this bar as close to the right hand metal fret as possible. Not back here where it'll buzz. If you move it over, you're more likely to get a clean chord. And then ring finger, likewise. It's a bit of a stretch, but try not to have it over here. Try and get it to the right hand side of that fret, like so. Now, if you totally struggle with that and think, I want to play this song, but I can't do that B minor tonight, I really want to do it eventually. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to use that. I like that. My pain is your gain. Exactly. Love it. So if you really struggle and you think, I don't want to do that, but I want to play the song, try playing the bottom 3 strings of the 2nd fret. And when you're strumming, just try not to hit the G string. Sorry, I'm a bit sweaty Betty tonight. It's a bit warm in here. I think I am going to have to start opening the door next time. So just play the bottom 3 strings like that. Okay. But if you can, 4 bar reach across for that B minor. Okay. And we do that for a whole measure. And then we get that resolution to the 1 chord where it feels relaxed. We do it again. Then we have the 2 chord, which is the next saddest chord, but not quite as melancholic. So just 1 finger up here. Then the next measure, 3 beats of C, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that D is your 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Resolution to G. And then F, again, that comes up in a lot of rock and roll and indie music. Has a kind of, it should be an F sharp in the key of G, but it creates a sense of tension, which is really lovely. And then the change chord at the end, which makes you want to go somewhere. Okay, so do you know what? I think I accidentally skipped to the chorus then, didn't I? So just at the end, yeah. So at the end of the verse, it should be G and then D. Sorry guys, I just skipped to the chorus. I was being a bit daft. So let's try a whole verse. I'll count them along. 2, 3, 4. B minor and G. 2, 3, 4. B minor and G. A minor. C for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, and then another D, because that's the 5 chords. Makes you want to go back to the start. We often get that 5 chord at the end of a phrase, don't we? And it creates that sense of tension, which makes you want to go back again. See exactly what happens here, and we repeat it. So that's your verses. Now in the chorus, we've got that A minor C D thing happening that happens in the verse again and again. So we start with A minor down here, 3 C's, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a bit I was showing you by mistake, G, F, C. Now if at the end of this measure you can sneak in a little B minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it. If you struggle with that, just do 4 C's. 2, 3, 4. That B minor just links it together. The reason it works beautifully is that B minor is in between a C and an A. If you think about it, A, B, C. And so it's just like a passing chord. It links them together beautifully. What you can do if you want to be real clever, that's so crazy, Sheila. You read my mind. That's amazing. Great minds, right? Yeah, exactly. So you could play it like that, absolutely. So you could do a bar chord for the C, and then you could do the B minor by dragging back. See how that's working? See, here, like a B flat's been moved up. And then you just take it back 1, remove that finger, and then take it back and drop off A minor. So just another little option there if you want to, which is a really nice way of playing it. Okay. And then the next time we go through again, the next line starts the same. A minor, C for 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, F, and this time you just rest on that C. Okay, not too bad, right? Now, then we have a solo bit, which happens, I think, only after the second chorus, sorry. And this is really straightforward. I almost think about this bit as in the key of F, but we've kept it in the key of G to make it simple. We just go F, to C, and again, and then we have that quick 1, 2, 3. That D just makes you want to go back to G again. I've try adding sus chords, so you can add extra notes like the 2nd fret of the C string to turn this F into an F sus4, which sound like this. Or turn a C. Oh no, that is F. That's like turning it into an F6, sorry. And you can turn a C into a C sus4 by adding this finger off. Something I often do when I'm resting on a C chord. Just if you want to add a little bit of interest. But if you want to, you can do a little solo there. I'll talk you through that. I'll talk you through it now, actually. Now, because I think about this bit as in the key of F, for the solo, I actually like to use the F major pentatonic for this bit. So if I bring that up, here we go. There it is. So the F major pairs up with the D minor pentatonic. If you wanted to have a go at this, let me come in on close camera. You're going to go from the 5th fret up here to the 7th fret, that's F and G. We're going to go from the 5th fret of the E string, it's A, to this high C note up here, at the 8th, 5th fret again, D, and then F again up here. Okay, so that's 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, and you can pair that up with a D minor down here. Okay, you can also, because it works, because it's just F and C, you can even do that C major A minor pentatonic we were doing earlier, works really beautifully as well. So if you want, you can just do all your dots. Okay, I really like that actually. If I just bring up backing track, I think I've got one here, it would sound like this. So I quite like that. It goes a little bit funny when it goes to that chord at the end, but I like to do a little bit of C major there. So just, it's only a little bit, you can just strum the chords, don't sweat it otherwise. Then when we do the next solo, which is basically going to be over another verse, you are going to use your G major E minor pentatonic. That makes sense because we're in the key of G and the verses really solidly are in the key of G. This is the one we'd use. Notice it's the same shape as this one. All of these scales are movable, just like chords are. So we can do the same shapes up at the 7th fret now, like so. 7 to 9 to 7 to 10 to 7 to 10. Whichever note you start with on the C string, that's a scale it's named after. So this is G major pentatonic. If I wanted to play G flat pentatonic, guess what? F, E, E flat, you get the idea, D. So all of these scales are movable, it's so clever. So 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And we can pair that, we can pair that up with the E minor. Because this song's in a minor key, I actually like the sound of the E minor pentatonic better. I think it just fits. I'll give you an example. I think that sounds really lovely, doesn't it? So when we come to that solo, which we're going to call the, what are we going to call that? Let's have a look. We're going to call that the interlude. Those are the ones that I would use over that. Okay. So where it says solo after the second chorus, let me bring the sheets up. I would use the C major scale, and where it says interlude before the very last chorus, use the E minor, G major pentatonic. If all that went a bit over your head, don't sweat it too much. You could just strum along and enjoy it with me. Okay, so here we go. Here's the pattern. So intro, and then verse, chorus, that's solo in C, verse, chorus, interlude, and then chorus. So the interlude, you're just going to strum the verse chords, okay? I'll shout when we get there and explain, don't worry. But interlude, you're going to do the verse chords. The solo, it has its own little set of chords here. Hopefully that makes sense. It should do when we put it together. All right, let's give it a go. Nice and slow, really nice and gentle. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. It's been so much fun getting all together again, and it's been lovely. Thanks for all your lovely comments as well. So, oh, and I got Indrani's told me a bit more about this thing. Oh my gosh, Indrani, I really do think that sounds like it could be Brendan Chase. And they did live in a tree, in a hollow oak tree. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find that out. I didn't realise it had ever been filmed. That really does sound like it. Amazing. Right, anyway, something for me to look up when we finish. Okay, guys, let's give it a go. I'll stay on this camera, I think, and we'll go nice and slowly after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Intro. Childhood living is easy to do. The things that you wanted, I bought them for you. Another verse. Graceless lady, you know who I am. You know I can't let you slide through my hands. Well done, everyone. A bit of Rolling Stones. That one works great on the uke, doesn't it? It's got those lovely, lush chords. And when you play those in open position on ukulele, I think, and you just strum them, just sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm sure that would sound nice with a picking pattern anyway as well, if anyone wanted to give it a go. Yeah, Indrani, if it's they could have named it something different, but Brendan Chase is named after the woods, so it's a fictional wood called Brendan Chase. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look it up. I love old films and old series, so yeah. That's amazing. It's a brilliant book if anyone's interested. I still can't believe I can't think of BB's real name. What is it? Dennis Watkins Pitchford or Dennis Pitchford Watkins. It's one or the other. Dennis Watkins Pitchford, I think, was his real name, and his moniker was BB, after his BB gun that he used to hunt with. I don't condone hunting; it's not my thing, but his countryside writing is just impeccable, and just like, you know, the kind of the observational stuff when the boys are off hunting and stuff. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. Absolutely fantastic. There's this amazing chapter I remember where they're up this oak tree and they've been chased by a boar and they're just kind of contemplating how they're going to escape. Oh, it's just wonderful. So look it up if you can. He was a great writer. He wrote lots of short stories as well about kind of countryside wildlife in the UK. He wrote one called Countryside Companion. Oh yeah, definitely check out his writing if you haven't. It's absolutely terrific. But Brendan Chase for me just stands head and shoulders above the rest of his writing. It's just so good. Well, I hope you really enjoyed that tonight, guys. That was such an unusual song choice. I think I had to really kind of look wide and far for songs about butterflies. You'd think there'd be loads of them, and there were quite a few that I kind of knew had butterflies in the lyrics, but I didn't think kind of quite worked for Kanikapila. But who'd have thought it'd be doing magnetic fields, going into the kind of craziness of what's frequency Kenneth, and then a lovely ballad from Canto. I mean, just a bit of Disney, so quite different. So yeah. Don't worry, Boo. That's all right. That's all right. Give it another go, Boo. Take your time. You can always watch back some others as well, and you can watch these back as many times as you want as well. So there's loads that you could even if you wanted to, when I do the songs, you could watch them back on YouTube and hit the ... and there's a playback speed, and it's really clever. A lot of people don't know this function on YouTube, but it's really handy. You can only do it obviously on the re-watches, not whilst it's happening live. But if you click ... and then click playback speed, you could take the speed down to 75%. And the clever thing is YouTube keeps the pitch the same. So you can still strum along and everything, and it will be the same pitch but slower. It's really, really clever things. So definitely. So yeah. Yeah, B minors are a tough one. Bar chords, I had a lot of conversation about this on the ukulele forum recently. If you haven't taken part in it, the ukulele forum seems to be really taking off at the moment, which is good fun. Lots of people asking for advice and lots of people helping out, which is fantastic. It's all on the website. And we're talking about bar chords. They're one of those things where you can learn how to do them relatively quickly in terms of the form and function, like thumb on the back, being next to the metal fret, using the lower part of your finger, using body mechanics to help push the strings down. But it does take genuinely a long time to build up the strength. As I say, I kind of learnt ukulele without any tuition back in the early days, and I was so frustrated that I didn't get bar chords straight away, and I kind of at one point just thought, I'm never ever going to get them. All I can do is open chords, it'll never happen. And I can't remember the day it happened, but I do remember after a couple of years thinking, oh, they're just no problem anymore. I'm just not having any issues. And I think it's because it takes up time to build up that technique, but also build up the strength. You can get little strengthening balls that people use for guitars to kind of build up that strength, but I think the best thing to do is just keep playing them and keep playing them, and don't worry if it's a little bit, a little bit squeaky or a little bit buzzy at the moment. That's all right. They'll come clean eventually, and you'll be an ace at them eventually. But be patient with yourself. I think it can take a couple of years, and I don't mean that in a discouraging way. I mean it in an encouraging way. Be patient. It'll come, and it will come. It happens for everyone eventually, but it does take a little while. So just be patient and try not to get too frustrated, and you'll get it. So, thanks, Joe. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. I really enjoy it. I always start with one song. So just if anyone's interested, when I'm coming up with the themes for Kanikapila, because we've been doing it for years now, it's really hard to think of a theme off the top of your head. So what I generally do is I find one song that I've been really enjoying and that I think would work on the ukulele, and I work that one out. And then I choose the theme from there. So I really wanted to do that Magnetic Field song, and it had that opening line, "You're a beautiful butterfly." And lots of people have been asking for a butterfly theme for a while, and that kind of set me off on this journey. So it happens like that all the time. I think last week's was slightly different because I wanted to do songs that have specifically been written on ukulele. So that was a theme right from the start. I chose that before we'd before I'd even tried my first song. But generally that's what I do. And I think next week the theme's a little bit random. We've got water. And it's just because I really wanted to do a particular song. You can have a look at the sheets when they're available in the next few days, and you can guess which one of the songs that was. So I came up with the song, and then decided we go over water theme. And there's a surprisingly brilliant amount of songs that feature water. So yeah. We could have done any of hundreds, but it's really good fun coming up with the songs and everything. Well done, Karen! Yay! Exactly. That's it. It's all takes a bit of time, doesn't it? But be patient, and we will get there. What's the phrase? There's two phrases, isn't there? Rome wasn't built in a day, but I really like every marathon starts with the first few steps, and that's so true, isn't it? So remember, if anyone's after another lesson, there's another jazz and blues one up on the website at the moment, so you can learn how to do jazz improvisation. I think this one's a really interesting lesson because in Kanikapila we use pentatonic scales, don't we, mostly? And that's because we know that every one of those 5 notes is going to fit with all over the whole of a song. That's why we use pentatonics, basically. Thanks, Linda. Thank you. Great to see you. It's nice to see you on a Monday. So that's why we use pentatonics over Kanikapila. But when jazz musicians particularly play, they tend to use chord tones. So they would use, for instance, when they're playing a D minor 7 chord, they would use the notes D, F, A, and a high C. And if they're playing a G7, they would use the notes D, F, B, and G. And then on a C, C, E, and G. So you get this whole new way of soloing. And I also talk a little bit about modes, like the Dorian mode, Mixolydian, followed by the C Ionian. And that's something that there's been a lot of questions about on the forum recently, so I thought that'd be helpful. So it really gets you soloing into it in a different way. The reason we don't do that over Kanikapila is you need a different scale for every chord, and obviously I would then have to teach you 5 or 6 scales for every lesson. I think for a lot of people they would be tuning out after the 3rd scale, so that's the reason we use pentatonics, to keep things simple. But if you want to learn solo in the jazz way, it's worth checking out that, and that's on the jazz blues course. That's the last lesson we did. And next week, or this week, by the end of this week, we'll have Stella by Starlight up there as well. Victor Young's amazing compositions, absolutely incredible. There he is, looking mean and moody with his conductor's baton. And then don't forget, if you're around, I'd love to see a load of you this Wednesday when we're doing our next live lesson, a beautiful piece of Hawaiian fingerstyle chord melody. And we'll really take our time breaking it down. So I'll explain how it all works. And You'll have loads of fun. Thanks, Rebecca. Yeah, very short trip. About 5 foot in that direction. That's it. Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I hope it sounded all right tonight. I've got a new mic and everything, so hopefully it's sounding good. Oh, I should give you the quick tour. This is how small this room is. Honestly, when you see this, you'll see how tiny my room is. But let me show you. So this, if I pick this webcam up, there we go. Let's see if I can get it right. So above me, over here, I've got my. Look, I've managed to find a really cool diagram of a Kamaka pineapple, and then I realised that I had a Kamaka pineapple, so I've put them together at the top. This is my industrial artwork here, otherwise known as a hot water pipe. Very, very neat. There's my Degas at the top. This was the painting that inspired. It's called the Ballet Lesson. Painting that inspired my album cover for my last album. Then I've got some trinkets. I got a lovely gonk made there for me at the last ukulele festival. My Ewok. That one came with me on the operating theatre when I was 4 years old, that one. And you can kind of tell by looking at him, I haven't washed him since. There's a Matt Stead mouse made by the brilliant Katie Vernon, and an elephant off my wife as well, which is a present when we first got together. And then all the boring computer stuff. There's me. Oh. And then what have I got round this corner? Oh, I've got another mic stand and a tiki mask. And then there we go. I told you it was a short tour. There we go. Got my baritone. And I was really excited to get my neon lights today. There we go. Right, that's making me dizzy, so I'm going to stop now. Let's get back to the normal camera. Where is it? Okay. Well, I'm really glad it worked all right, because I was a bit nervous. It is quite a small space, but I think it keeps it nice and damp, which is good. So damp in terms of the sound, not damp in terms of anything else, hopefully. Well, I'm rambling, so I'm going to love you and leave you, and we will catch up. We will be back next Monday. Remember, we're going straight through pretty much until Christmas now. We've got one break at the end of October where I'm taking the kids on a half-term holiday. But other than that, just every Monday, if you're available and you're around and you fancy it, come and join me, and we'll have loads of fun. Live lesson this Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Sending all my love and Yukon, and I will see you